The fact that you are watching this video on your mobile phone or any other device, puts you in a special position. For a start, you had the money to buy it. If you were from poor country, your family would probably be scraping by on a few dollars a day. Most of your money would go on food and there wouldn't be any left to buy a mobile phone or tab. In Burkina Faso, a poor country in West Africa, less than half of young people can read, only a third of girls can. Instead of learning algebra or languages, a 12-year-old girl there might have spent the day heaving buckets of water to her family's hut. You might not think of you and your family as being especially rich, but to many people around the world spending money on a mobile phone or use it would seem as likely as a trip to the moon.
Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to explore the fascinating history of economics. Economics is the study of how people make choices under scarcity, and how those choices affect production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Economics has shaped and been shaped by human history, culture, politics, and technology. In this series of videos, we will see how different economic systems emerged and evolved over time, how economic theories and models were developed and tested, and how economic events and policies influenced the course of history. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this journey through the history of economics.
The word economics might sound a bit dry and make you think of a load of boring statistics. But all it's really about how to help people survive and to be healthy and educated. It's about how people get what they need to live full, happy lives. In the 1930s, the British economist Lionel Robbins defined economics as the study of scarcity. Rare things like diamonds and white peacocks are scarce, but to economists, pens and books are scarce too, even though you can easily find them at home or at your local shop. By scarcity, economists mean that there is a limited amount, and people's desire are unlimited. If we could, we might go on buying new pens and books forever, but we can't have it all because everything has a cost. Cost isn't just pound or dollar. Imagine a student choosing which subject to study next year. The options are history or geography, but not both. The student chooses history. What's the cost of that choice? It's what you give up chance to learn about deserts, glaciers, and capital cities. What about the cost of a new hospital? You could add up the price of bricks and steel went into it. But if we think in terms of what we give up, then the cost of train station that we could build instead. Economists call it opportunity cost. Scarcity and opportunity cost are the basic economy principle. The problem of scarcity and choice lies at the very heart of economics, which is the study of how individuals and society choose to allocate scarce resources. In poor country, people have to choose in between a meal for the children or medicine for a sick grandmother. In rich country like America or Sweden, they have to choose between a new watch and the latest iPad. Rich countries face serious economic problems. Sometimes firms go burst, workers lose their jobs and struggle to buy clothes for their children. But they are less often matters of life and death. Economy is where resources are used up, new things are made and decided who gets what. For example, a manufacturer buys clothes and hire workers to produce t-shirts. Consumers like you and I go to the shop, and if we have money in our pockets can buy goods like t-shirts. We also consume services, things that are not physical objects. Haircut, for example. Firms, workers, and consumers are the key elements of an economy. Governments are the part of economy too. They affect how resources are used when they spent money on a new motorway or power station. Early humans sowed the seeds of economic life by learning to bend nature to their needs. When people first lit fire, they could make new things out of what they found. They fashioned pots from clay and cooked meals using plants and animals. Then over 10,000 years ago, came the first economic revolution. Bands of humans invented agriculture when they discovered how to grow plants and tame animals. From these beginnings, civilization with complex economies appeared in Mesopotamia, the site of present-day Iraq. Now people don't have to produce their own food. Economy complexity was possible because people had become so good at growing crops and raising animals that farmers could produce more than they needed for their own survival. The surplus fed the priests and the kings. Also, getting food from growers to the eaters required organization. Today it happens through buying and selling with money, but ancient societies fell back on old traditions. Crops were brought to the temples as offerings and shared out by the priests. Now let's see the first people to think about economic questions: the ancient Greeks. A forefather of all thinkers is the Greek philosopher Socrates, whose words we know only through the writing of his disciples. One of his disciples was Plato. Plato imagined an ideal society, in which everyone has their place determined at birth. Plato said, most people including slaves are the lowest class, with bronze in their souls. Above them Plato put class of silver-souled warriors. At the top were the rulers, a group of philosopher kings, men with the souls of gold. Near Athens, Plato set up his famous academy to create the wise men fit to rule over the rest of society. Plato was joined in the academy by Aristotle. Aristotle was the first to try organize knowledge into different fields: science, mathematics, politics, and so on. If people create wealth using the seeds and tools that they own, then how would someone get a new pair of shoes when they don't make of shoes? Aristotle shines a light on the fundamental particle of the economical universe: the exchange of one good to another. Here comes the concept of money. Without it, you'd carry around olives to swap for the shoes you need, and you'd have to be lucky enough to bump into someone offering shoes and in need of olives. To make this easier, people agree to designate an object, often gold or silver, as the money with which to buy and sell, to trade useful things. Now it's perfectly natural for households to grow and eat olives, and to sell them for money. When households see that they can make money for selling olives, they might start to grow them purely for profit. This is commerce, buying and selling things to make money. Aristotle was suspicious of it, and thought that trade that goes beyond obtaining what's needed for the household was unnatural. There was one thing worse than growing olives to create an ever-large pile of coins, and that was using money itself to earn more money. Making money out of money by lending it to someone for a price is the more unnatural economic activity possible. Aristotle's attack on moneylending influenced economic thinking for centuries to come. It was clear to Aristotle, then, that virtue lay with the honest farmers, not the clever bankers. Like all empires, the great Greek civilization and that of the Romans which followed it eventually died out, and new thinkers emerged. We'll see in upcoming videos the changing ideas about the economy and how economy itself changed.